listening to precept on precept. Captain Shem break it down to no meat left. Line upon line in the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. You listening to precept on precept. Captain Shem break it down to no meat left. Line upon line, the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. Putting in the work for the most high. Valley of the bones coming back and we gon' ride. Showing you our past didn't start with that boat ride. We a nation made of kings, yeah, we chose right. Bringing our identity back. We the praise of the Lord, they pretend to be that. Judah is something special, they could never be that. We raise the vengeance with the knowledge so our enemies crack. In fact, listen to the class and the topic. Bomb subject matter, breakdowns atomic. Gathering the people, the whole duty of prophets. Precepts start flowing.
Israel United in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus 5:1.
Shalom, 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 Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Welcome to another edition of Precept Upon Precept on this Thursday evening. I'm Captain Shem. We are your hosts.
I'm Officer Mikael.
Officer Thomas.
All praise. We're giving all praise to the Most High. We're going to start right up. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. What we're going to go into tonight with a part 2 is the commercialization of this Christmas wicked demonic holiday, and how the Israelites, when we are in that Hellenist state, when we are in that state of a Greekish fashion, we are victims of our oppressors. Give me that Deuteronomy 20. Let's start right up. Just hit me right up the top.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48.
Come on.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So we know who the enemies are, which the Most High sent against us, the Israelites. Read on.
In hunger.
Come on.
And in thirst. And in nakedness. And in want of all things.
All things. And that also includes our celebratory practices. That includes the things that we have learned while here in Babylon the Great. The things that they taught us is what we now take to our own and celebrate that. Read on.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Right. And during the holidays, what we're going to find is that we were in slavery and many times given as gifts on Christmas evening. You're going to find that out. Read on.
Until he have destroyed thee.
And that's why now you can get a brother who says he's pro-black, but he got a Christmas tree with a present to his wife under the tree. Talking about I'm pro-black. You can't be pro-black or pro-Puerto Rican and you celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas, even if you say it's for the kids and you got a black Santa Claus. You can't be. It's impossible. Read on.
The Lord shall bring a nation against
That's
thee.
it on that. We're going to start. You got something you want to add up, some Mikael?
No, I was just going to say, celebrating Christmas teaches your children to be dependent on the enemy. You dependent on a white man to come down the chimney and bring you presents. Do you see how y'all destroying your children by talking about celebrating Christmas and this is for the kids? You're making them mentally dependent on Esau by doing that. Y'all got to do better, Israel.
That's right. Let's get to that first article. Is Christmas too commercial? We're going to let Esau tell you. Because Esau will tell you about his season. It is for the dollar bill, y'all. That's exactly what it's about. It's always been about that, right? Go ahead and let's read that article. There we go.
Is Christmas too commercial? Well, that's the reason it became popular.
It's fun. I like the way they started. Go back to the title real quick. He said, is Christmas commercial? That's a rhetorical question. They answer it for you. Well, that's the reason it became popular. So we finding out that the authors of this, which is author Takahashi, which is, he's writing it from an Asian point of view, which he really probably doesn't even celebrate. Well, he probably does nowadays, now that when we bombed and defeated them in World War II, United States of America, they took over the stock market, all the dumb holidays as well. This is from 3 years ago, almost to the date. Read.
Scroll down. It's that time of the year again when some people will argue about the meaning of Christmas.
Meaning, this is the some people. They'll say it's about the kids, or they'll say, really, it's about what you make of Christmas. But the underlying factor that they have They all believe in so-called Santa Claus. They all believe in a tree with gifts and mistletoe. They all believe in these sacred so-called customs. Whether you call yourself Catholic, Protestant, okay, Lutheran, all of them have these key factors of the so-called Christmas celebration.
You know what's funny? They say many people argue about the true meaning of Christmas. All of them are going to say Jesus is the reason for the season, but yet they got, like you said, a Christmas tree, Santa Claus. They got Frosty the Snowman in the front yard, but y'all hollering Jesus is the reason for the season? Okay.
Right, and this is what's going to get into. Read on.
Others will be guilted into gift giving, and some will claim commercialization has ruined the holiday altogether.
Right, so there's like Officer Mikael said, some will say the real meaning is about Jesus, and he died for all people so that you can go back to the Father. His sacrifice made it for all people. You're forgetting the real reason, and you're going to these gifts and commercialization. That's the argument. That's a Caucasian argument that they'll have with one another, that we now actually feed into that crap.
You know what's real stupid? That whole nativity scene with Jesus in the manger. If he was born in December 25th in Jerusalem, that little baby would not have made it. It wouldn't have survived in the winter. Y'all got to think, people.
Right, I was waiting for Officer Thomas to say, I got the scripture for you. Give me that. It was in Jerusalem. It was cold. Who knows where that's at? It just came to me. Now you said that. If you go to
is that John 10:22?
I think yes. It
Feast
was
of
the Feast of
Dedication?
Dedication. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So the Feast of Dedication at large falls at about the same time, generally within several weeks of their so-called Christmas season. Usually it's before by several weeks. But this is scriptural proof that there is talk of cold in the scriptures, like you mentioned, Officer Mikael. You got that?
The book of John, chapter 10, verse 22.
All right.
And it was at Jerusalem, the Feast of Dedication.
No, Passover.
The Feast of the Dedication.
What how holy day was it?
And it was at Jerusalem, the Feast of the Dedication.
You black brothers and you Hispanics, you better wake up, because Christmas is of the damn devil, and your prophet Jeremiah told you it was the damn devil. Come on.
And it was winter.
Say what?
And it was winter.
Summertime, like Will Smith.
And it was winter.
Winter. Guess what happens in winter? It's cold out, brothers. Come on. So we know, like you just said, how they going to be in the manger in the middle of a cold season. They obviously brought the child indoors.
Right.
Too damn cold outside. Okay? Where was I? Back to the article, please.
But then there's Dr. Ruth Mecklin-Nugent, a pop culture scholar who says the root of these external and internal conflicts actually lies in the creation of our modern celebration of Christmas.
I'm going to prove to you that, for example, you ever heard of the term a black Mason, right? You heard of the term a black journalist, right? So if you got a black journalist, what's a regular journalist?
Right.
So we're going to find out now that this terminology is an argument internal between Caucasian people. And I'm going to show you very, very clearly. Read it again.
But then there's Dr. Ruth Mecklin-Nugent, a pop culture scholar.
Dr. Ruth McClelland-Nugent. That's what Caucasian women do when they want to hang on to their maiden name to give power. They hyphenate it. The Israelites don't do that. You are my wife. You take on my name. This is another custom that they do. We're not supposed to do that. You see a lot of these high-power political black women do that garbage today. Read on.
A pop culture scholar who says the root of these external and internal conflicts actually lies in the creation of our modern celebration of Christmas.
So the internal conflict you're going to find is a Caucasian internal conflict that we envy and choose the way of them. Read on.
It's ironic that today we talk about Christmas being too commercial.
Why would they say that? It's ironic that today meaning 2018, that they talk about Christmas being too commercial. Well, the reality is it's always been that way. That's what she's going to get into. Read on.
Says Mecklin-Nugent, associate professor of history in the Catherine Reese Pamplin College of Arts, humanities, and social sciences at Augusta University.
Right. So this woman here, Dr. McClellan Nugent, didn't take half a semester at the local community college. She has a professor in this social, what is it, pop culture. What she says she does?
She's a pop scholar in pop culture.
A scholar in pop culture. This is important to know that. Read on.
In the U.S., it really became popular through this commercial process.
Okay.
The popularization of Christmas in the United States began with advertising.
So before Christmas was popular, the thought was it was about so-called Jesus for Caucasians. Now with the first commercialization of Christmas, they began to start advertising. What did they advertise? They started to hit you. Advertise. We're going to show you that. Read on.
Go down.
The
first turning point. McClellan Nugent points to 2 points in American history that were turning points in creating the Christmas celebration we know today.
So this is a scholar, right? 2 points that in American history, by the way, remember, in college you take black American history. This is white America. This is white people history. We just call it what it is. Just like when you had the fountains that were clean and properly kept up were white fountains, right? They gave you that. The colored fountains were the ones that were dilapidated. The white section of movie theaters was the one they kept up in the front. You sat at the top. You sat at the back of the bus. They sat at the front of the bus. The terms and the conditions are still in the writing. You just got to see what it is. Just look at it for yourself. Read.
The first period was the 1840s.
1840s. Now, why did I go here? Because it's amazing that we think that anything has changed in 170 or 160 something years. So the first turning point was in 1840, right? Okay. Hold that. Get me the other article that I posted. It's at the bottom of the page, and it's called, we're going to get some reading tonight, y'all. It is called, where was it? Bear with me. HTTP, second from the top, you have to hit the link. It's called docsouth.unc.edu. Sir Thomas, get you ready, because we're going to read a little bit of something here. Because now we're going to dig deep. We're going to dig deep for a reason, because you black people need to wake the hell up and realize that you are still living in a racist society that absolutely can't stand your guts and use you and victimize you and your economic potential to be consumers and to buy dumb stuff that you don't need. Watch this. There we go. Now, Henry Bibb, if you look to the right, that's a Negro who some of you say he's got the good hair. Well, he was a slave, a Negro slave. The slave experience of the holidays. So, Thomas, you can flow with this?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it.
American slaves experienced the Christmas holidays in many different ways. Joy, hope, and celebration were naturally a part of the season for many. For other slaves...
Hey, stop real quick. They said joy, hope, and was the hope for many, right? So, if you're a slave and you're forced to do hard labor, what are they really talking about? You get some hope and some joy. Well, I'm not going to say it. Read on.
For other slaves, these holidays conjured up visions of freedom and even the opportunity to bring about that freedom.
Now stop. There's two things we want to touch on. Number one, it was some slaves got the feeling of joy and hope, a little bit of easy time. Others got the idea for, well, these people are sleeping. Let me start planning my freedom. And it's something very heavy because it has to do with right in this very parish that we're in down here in Louisiana. As a matter of fact, across the river, a place called Jefferson Parish. We're going to read about this. This is heavy. That's why you black people who celebrate Christmas, you are absolutely just following everything that they want you to follow. It's amazing. Read on.
Still others saw it as yet another burden to be endured. This month, documenting the American South considers the Christmas holidays as they were experienced by enslaved Americans.
Now, we're gonna read because you need to hear this. And this is some of you are expecting us to just start getting live and getting all animated. No, we're gonna dig into some things about slaves that celebrated Christmas. And a lot of you don't like talking about it. You don't like to read about history when you are being seen in a really low estate. You have to embrace this, man. You have to get angry, upset, and realize y'all still is suffering to this day. All right? Read on.
The prosperity and relaxed discipline associated with Christmas often enabled slaves to interact in ways that they could not do during the rest of the year.
You ever notice at your job that during the so-called holiday season, and some of you, maybe if some of you have Israelite bosses, all praise to the Most High, you don't got to go through this. But a lot of us who work in the establishment of Babylon, we find that at our jobs, it gets a little loose, a little nicer treatment, merry and joyful around the house and now that allows you to feel a little bit more relaxed at work. It's the same spirit that they had back in the day because you're the same slaves caught up in the same system to this day. Only you don't have chains off you, and there's no more blurred color line, colored, white and colored. It doesn't exist. It's what's the word? It's invisible now. The color line is invisible, but everything is still here. You got to see it what it is. Read on.
They customarily receive material goods from their masters.
Oh, so the master give them a gift. Holiday bonus. Thanks for working for me all year. Read.
Perhaps the slave's yearly alignment of clothing, an edible delicacy,
Little dessert, little might throw him a couple sweet potatoes. Read on.
or a present above and beyond what he or she needed to survive and work on the plantation.
So all year you got just enough to survive, but that during Christmas, master was super nice because he gave you a little something extra to keep that hope alive for you. Read on.
For this reason, among others, slaves frequently married during the Christmas season. When Dice, a female slave in Nina Hall Robinson's Aunt Dice, came to her master one Christmas Eve and asked his consent to her marriage with Caesar, her master allowed the ceremony, and a great feast was spread. Page 24 and 25.
So Esau was in such a good mood. Normally you couldn't come up to master for nothing. But during Christmas, master was happy. Master was drinking a little spiked eggnog. And the slave could approach the master and say, hey, master, can you bless the wedding? And, well, you damn niggers, but all right, I'll tell you what. Sharika, let's go ahead and get married. I'll even pay for everything today. I'm feeling great. This is the spirit that they have on them. Okay? And this is exactly what you see today. Don't try to act like you don't know, like you feel extra warm. I'll tell you what. And we're going to take advantage of it. I'm gonna pay for the whole day. You're gonna go home halfway through the day. Okay? Don't let that fool you. That the damn devil the other 300 and some odd days of the year.
That's right.
Okay? Read on. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about.
Dice and Caesar were married in the mistress's own parlor.
Wow! The white woman said, you niggas can get married even in my parlor. Normally, you get married in the back. But today, because we're in a good mood and it's Christmas, you niggas can come in my parlor. You can come in the house. We'll give you some extra food. Come on. Y'all got to see what we're dealing with here. Read on.
Before the white minister, more than any other time of the year, Christmas provided slaves with the latitude and prosperity that made a formal wedding possible. On the plantation, the transfer of Christmas gifts from master to slave was often accompanied by a curious ritual. On Christmas Day, it was always customary in those days to catch people's Christmas gifts, and they would give you something. Slaves and children would lie in wait for those with the means to provide presents and capture them.
Stop. So this is what would happen. Black people, along with the white children, because that's what we were, nothing but big children to them, we would see white people coming, and we're standing there like this and wait for a gift to be thrown at us. Right? Throw one to me, master. You got to see. I'm telling you, man.
Sound like Mardi Gras. Throw me something, mister.
It's very similar. But this, as you're reading this, some of y'all don't get upset. And when I read this, I'm imagining Mikael and me going through this. Here I am, a grown man. I worked all year for you for nothing. My back is whooped. I'm doing all this stuff for you. And then the one day a year, now you going to be nice to me? And I got to wait for you and jump up and down and wait for you to throw me a gift? I'm telling you, y'all got to see, we are the Israelites. There ain't no question about that. Read on.
Crying Christmas gift and refusing to release their prisoners until they receive their gift in return. This ironic annual inversion of power occasionally allows slaves to acquire real power.
Oh, you mean like have a choice? So we were allowed to act like humans for those couple of hours during the Christmas time. The white woman said, you niggas could come and get married in my parlor. Y'all got to see, y'all got to really see who we are. We not far out here. I'm going to prove it. Real quick, hold this. Give me the article. I'm going to show you 1930s Christmas commercialization. That's why, listen, we in 2021, right? 90 years ago, 80 years ago, you were nothing. You couldn't go into friggin' Macy's. Nigga, please, get your ass to the side. We had to fight just to eat at Woolworth's countertop. You forgot about that? You brothers, a lot of y'all, listen, a lot of you, and you damn Puerto Ricans piss me off. You light-skinned ones, you think, listen, you just another light-skinned nigga. You better remember that. I'm telling you, a lot of y'all this time of year, you think everybody they don't like you. They do not like you. Better learn that. Read.
What was Christmas like for America's enslaved people?
I'm sorry. No, that's Mikael's. He's going to get that in a minute. Go to the article. I'm sorry. Don't be fooled. Christmas has always been this commercial.
Hey, while y'all getting that, can we get Ecclesiastes 7:7? Oh, man. Hey, I'm with Cap on this one. I don't know about y'all, but reading this and imagining this, it's frustrating. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. And
the oppression that we feel each and every year, especially this so-called holiday season, folly-day season is what it should be called, because it's nothing but folly and sin. The oppression we feel this time of the year, read.
And a gift destroyed the heart.
See, that's the part right there. A gift destroyed the heart. Because our people will get upset. Our people will get frustrated. But as soon as Master give them something, it's all good. They get that Christmas bonus, it's all good. But all throughout the year, they ready to quit. They ready to go on strike. Man, they better give me a raise, pay me. I ain't about to do nothing else around here till they pay me.
Right.
As soon as you get your Christmas bonus, though, it's all good. I love Charlie. Charlie good to me.
Hey, it's the truth. It's the truth. Now, look. Port out, it says, don't be fooled. Christmas says, we're going to go back to the doggone slave experience because a lot of y'all just go right back to sleep. You need to picture yourself going through that. And sometimes it's really good when when someone is in your face oppressive to you, sometimes you need that. You Israelites, sometimes you need a damn wake-up call. You need a wake-up call. A lot of y'all damn rock your ass back to sleep, even in this truth. That's it right here. Yes.
Don't be fooled. Christmas has always been this commercial. This article is more than 7 years old.
Right. So it's December 16th, about 8 years old. But the reason why I went here, really, we're going to read a little bit, but it's most importantly for the visual representation to show you that the commercialization that they're talking about Christmas has always been designed always with the Caucasian in mind.
You know, it don't matter how old the article is. It's still gonna show. It's still gonna show that you Negroes out there buy into everything Esau. Y'all brain is a satellite for the so-called white man. That's what the article gonna show.
100%. Facts. Read.
After Black Friday's mall pummelings, we all can second the rant from one woman about Christmas materialism. Dear me, it's so tedious. Everybody has got everything they can be thought of. What do you get for people that have more than they know what to do with now? There are worlds of money wasted at this time of year in getting things that nobody wants and nobody cares for after they got it.
Remember last week, Dr. Boyce Watkins talked about black people are consumers and that the purpose of money is actually to make you, it's the capital you need to make money. And he used the example of if I buy a building with a couple of trucks, I'm not just going to sit in there. The objective is the money that I get to have these possessions will make me money. Black people get money. It's how many more trips can I go to the car dealer? How many more trips can I go to the stupid mall and all these other damn cell phone stores? You got a cell phone. Every year you get a new damn cell phone. Why?
Hey, Cap, in the article it said we waste money buying things that nobody needs or nobody cares for. I remember the year before I came into the truth, I brought my daughter a Barbie, the little Barbie car.
Right.
You know, she played with the box all morning and didn't even drive the car. She played with the box. These kids don't care about none of that stuff.
Commercialization. Remember, it said, go back, it said it was two pivotal points. One was 1840. Then we took that information. We showed you a slave experience back in 1840 when your folks were slaves. And there's another time period that they're going to, we're going to go back to that article a little bit later on. We're jumping around. So read on, please.
That was Harriet Beecher Stowe letting off steam through one of her characters in a holiday story from 1850. 2 years before she assailed slavery in Uncle Tom's Cabin, Stowe was one of many who were fed up with the whole Christmas scene. A letter writer to a magazine in 1834, dazed by the sheer mass of Christmas merchandise in stores.
Wait, stop. Read it again.
A letter writer to a magazine in 1834, dazed by the sheer mass of Christmas merchandise in stores.
One more time, because I want to make sure that we're reading this correctly.
A letter writer to a magazine in 1834.
A letter writer to a magazine in 1834.
That don't say 1934?
That's what I thought. I thought it said that. So you were still in slavery for another almost 30 years. So the commercializations of Christmas has always been in this country, even during the time of slavery. Don't let it fool you, right? And one of the commercializations, give me Revelation chapter 12. One of the commercializations of they used to sell spices, which were great, right? Remember the whole the East Indian movement and the search for cinnamon, the search for spice, the search for all of these wonderful things, the search for silk and purple. But there was also a search for you, because you were one of the best Christmas gifts and the strongest economy, the strongest commerce. You're the gift that kept giving because you bred for them. Get me Revelation 12, and I think you know what I want.
Revelation 18, right, Cap?
Let me see something. I want to look at it. 18, yes. It's 18 and 12, I believe. Let me look at it. I don't have my... maybe it's 10. Let me see something.
I got you.
18 and 12.
Revelation 18 and 11. Then
Yeah, 11 first, please.
Revelation chapter 18, verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her.
Go to 10, and we're going to jump.
Verse 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment,
So,
saying,
standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying what?
Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
The mighty city is talking about the United States of America. Where is Christmas? Where is the world economy? Where do the stock markets run? Where is the world economy dictated? The United States of America and its allies. Read on.
And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her.
Who are the merchants of the earth? If you go against America's policies, there's something called sanctioning and embargoing. Read on.
For no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Because there's going to come a time when this age of decadence, this place is going to fall. And people are not going to want to buy and do business with America no more. You're starting to see it happen right now before your eyes. Read on.
Verse 12. The merchandise of gold.
What?
The merchandise of gold.
Gold, silver, you talk about it all the time. Make sure your money's backed up by gold, right? That was a big thing back in 1805. Big thing in 1514. Read on.
And silver.
Silver right behind it. Precious metal, right? You got silver pottery, not pottery, silver cutlery and things that, silver plates and things of that nature. Silverware, read on.
And precious stones.
Stones, you got your rubies, gem, diamonds, amethysts, read on.
And of pearls.
Pearls, that's
And
a big
fine-
thing. A lot of them British, they loved a lot of Edomite British with their pearls, read on.
And fine linen.
Yeah, the best clothes. You get silk, 100% cotton. The whole industry in the United States, cotton was one of the biggest industries that they made and sold in 1838. The commercialization of Christmas was back then. How did they get the resources to sell clothes in stores on Christmas? Because your ass was in the field picking for free, getting your ass whooped in the back or in the house serving these damn devils who you follow today. Wake the hell up. I'm telling y'all better wake the hell up, man. Sometimes a wake-up call is good to make you remember who the hell you are. Read on.
And purple.
What?
And purple.
And why purple is a color of royalty. It is a color of power, of kings. Read on.
And silk.
And what?
And silk.
There was a whole thing called, in China, there was wars over silk. Silk is one of the most precious material. So all these things that are mentioned are things that are sought after in trade. And also, a lot of those are given during Christmas. Your jewels, your pearls, silver and gold, your jewelry, nicest of clothes, all these different things. Read on.
And scarlet.
In scarlet, read on.
And all thine wood.
What?
And all thine wood.
What you got to understand, a lot of time before the whole plastic injection, plastic molding injection, everything that was made nice was made out of wood. All the furniture, it was wood, everything. They carved, was whole industries about wood. Now it's replaced with plastic and metal and things like that. Read on.
And all manner vessels of ivory.
Right? Ivory. Come on.
And all manner vessels of most
That's
precious
why
wood.
Everything in the earth going to be happy when the Israelites come back in power. The elephants are going to rejoice because we didn't go kill elephants like that, like the damn Edomites do today. You're going to kill a big giant elephant that's got a purpose in this earth just to get his tusk that he used for mating purposes and defense purposes. That's why I'm telling you, this place got to go. Read.
And of brass.
Come on.
And iron.
Yep.
And marble.
Come on.
And cinnamon. And odors.
Yep.
And ornaments.
Hey,
and
what is one of the biggest things that black people give out during these holidays? Ain't got a pot to piss in, but you spending $80 on some stupid fragrance. You realize that? And they are talking, this has been traded for millennial, right? Read on, we almost there.
And frankincense.
Come on.
And wine. And oil.
And oil. All these things are, these things today are given out in Christmas time. Today, these are the sort, the jewelry, all of the woodwork, furniture, all of that. Oils, incense, all of that. Okay, read.
And fine flour.
Right.
And wheat. And beasts. And sheep. And horses.
Yep.
And chariots.
Yep.
And slaves.
What?
And slaves.
So you were the gift that was given on Christmas. You were the ones, when we read about the article, when Christmas was commercial, we're going to go right back to Jaguar where you see it again. You were in slavery being one of those damn gifts. So they'll tell, well, Christmas really didn't start getting until Eisenhower made it after the Great Depression. Bull crap. It was talking about it right here. When you was in slavery, they was pushing the commercialization of credit. But you didn't know that, did you? Go back to the article. I'm getting mad. And you should get mad. There's nothing wrong with expressing anger. Just don't go out and do nothing crazy. Smile. Clench your feet at the job. Yeah, no problem. You're going to have to do what you got to do at your job. At the end of the day, you take that anger and you redirect it in a righteous way. Yes, Mikhail, brother.
Hey, you know how you brought out the point about the fine linen and us picking the cotton to make that fine linen, right? Hanes underwear, which is a popular gift every Christmas, has a slogan that says, cotton is the fabric of our lives, throwing the fact that you picked that cotton in your face and you still go out and buy Hanes this and Hanes that. And they used another high prominent slave, Michael Jordan, to promote Hanes and commercialize Hanes as well.
It said it right in there. In linen and all these different things, some of the biggest gifts given are, let's think about it. Any type of colognes and perfumes is a huge holiday item, right? Jewelry is a huge one. Right now, video games, I didn't have any thought of that back then. But all the things, furniture and all these different things, the scriptures talk about it in Revelation 18, 11, and 12, right? Now, let's link the Bible back to the article. You gotta don't fall back to sleep because Christmas commercialization was going on during your slavery. Okay, and we're gonna show you more. Read on.
A letter writer to a magazine in 1834.
Come on.
Dazed by the sheer mass of Christmas merchandise in stores.
No. Go back again. Read it again.
A letter writer to a magazine in 1834, dazed by the sheer mass of Christmas merchandise in stores.
In 1834, there were stores in this country, and you weren't allowed to go in unless the master gave you a letter of permission that I give my slave is going to go buy something for me. You had to have papers everywhere you went. Everywhere you went, you had to have permission as a grown man or woman to go anywhere. Okay? So I'm telling you, I got to see this. This should make you sick to your stomach to celebrate Christmas. Read.
Including Junk, was amazed at the cunning skill with which the most worthless as well as most valuable articles are set forth to tempt and decoy the bewildered purchaser.
So this is the inner and external argument between white people. Because during the time of the first commercialization of Christmas, you was enslaved, proving that the article that when they said it in 3 years ago in 2018, the same audience is there. The internal and external argument has nothing to do with you. Because when Christmas was thriving in 1834, you were a slave. You gotta see this for what it actually is. Read.
Both examples come from the Battle for Christmas. Stephen Nissenbaum's Pulitzer's nominated debunking of the notion of the holidays, good old days.
Come on.
When someone says old-fashioned Christmases weren't commercial, Nissenbaum's 1996 book makes clear they're wrong. Unless by old-fashioned, they mean before the 1820s.
Right. So we're going back before the 1820s now. So again, your position is in society, you were a slave. You got your back whooped. You got put to death if you was learn how to read and write. You had to have paperwork to be able to move around the town. So all this time, there were stores in all these American so-called cities and colonies where they pushed the commercialization. So the argument about the external and internal argument about the real meaning behind Christmas has nothing to do with black people in America. Nothing to do with you so-called native. Not one damn thing.
Nothing
at all. Nothing. Okay?
Hey,
Read
Cap.
on. Yes, sir.
This Ammonite said, unless you mean the 1820s. I know you want to continue with that article, but I got this article from history.com that actually proves that statement wrong.
Let's bring it out. But don't lose this Jaguar. We're going to come back here. We're going to jump around like you said.
It's the one from history.com. What was Christmas like for America's enslaved people?
Right, and while we get that, while tech team load that up, give me a scripture. Get me the book of, get me the book of my favorite, Proverbs 3, verse 31. Because this is something that this scripture should hit you over the head. Did y'all hear what we brought out? Christmas has been a commercial holiday since the time of you were deep in slavery. Not 1866, it just jumped out of nowhere. We were free, illegal. No, you were not allowed to buy anything from the stores. The internal and external argument was only about Edomites, about what the real meat. Was it about Jesus? Was it the commercialization? Because it was always about the commercialization. In Revelation, it told you one of the gifts that they gave is you and your children. And your mothers and fathers and as pets. Horses were treated better than you. Horses, cattle were treated better than you. Read.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31.
Come on.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
Who has oppressed you in this country? The same man that we've learned through Stockholm Syndrome and Willie Lynch successful tactics, that you actually believe that the same man that oppressed you and put you in slavery actually cares about you. And that's where you learn that from, because during Christmas season, I'll let you niggas get married in my parlor. You can come up here. Okay, and as they roll by, you stood there because you knew you were going to get a gift, and you might get a little bit more than just to survive. So you stood there and waited with the other children, waiting to get thrown a gift. Y'all got to see what this is about. Y'all got to see it. Mickey, I'll bring it out.
Hey, scroll down to the part where it says in the 1830s. Right there.
In the 1830s, the large slaveholding states of Alabama, Louisiana, and Arkansas became the first in the United States to declare Christmas a state holiday.
So we see the 1830s. Read on.
It was in these southern states and others during the antebellum period, 1812 to 1861.
Wait a minute. What period?
It was in these southern states and others during the antebellum period, 1812 to 1861.
Now, in the other article, it said before the 1820s. Now, finish that last part, though.
That many Christmas traditions, giving gifts, singing carols, decorating homes, firmly took hold in American culture.
So from 1812 to 1861 is when Christmas traditions took hold. So I ain't the smartest man in the world, but 1812 is before 1820.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now, right, and you notice this is Alabama, Louisiana, and Arkansas. That's some of the major slaveholding states. And by the way, Christmas was going on way before 1812. Matter of fact, get me that, Thomas. You know what it is. Jeremiah 10. Because Christmas had different names. Okay, they celebrated in many captivities hundreds and if not thousands of years ago. And the Israelites, it was a warmer climate. Yep. Okay? It was a warmer climate with a different type of species of tree. Jeremiah, the 10th chapter.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Right. You were the slaves that in these articles. You were the one that was sold. We're going to go back to the American South article to show you that one of our brothers got sold on Christmas Eve. And it's going to make it real plain. Not just we make generalizations, oh, you were the slaves. And no, we're going to get a real example. How you think it felt? Here you are. They took you from your mother. You're 15 years old. They took you forcefully from your mother. You just saw your mother cry, your pops. He didn't get a chance to say goodbye to you. Then you travel by car, let's say 15 hours to the next plantation. And here you are embarrassed as hell. And you get walked in on a friggin' leash. And you get given as a gift. Do you understand that this happened to you? Do you understand? A lot of you ain't never felt no embarrassment. You never felt no kind of sting or nothing like that. A lot of you need a damn wake-up call. Some of you need to come the hell alive and wake up who the hell you really are. Read.
Thus saith the Lord.
Come on.
Learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of the heathen. Read on.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Right. That's why you need his history. Because during that time, he was extra nice to you. You niggas can come in here. I'll let you get married in the parlor with us. They give you a little bit more scraps for you this time of year. Stand around, when they came around, they would just throw you little gifts. That's where you get the term, they would throw you some crumbs. That's where they get it from. Read.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Right, that's why the argument, the internal and external argument that the article is talking about is they're dismayed at their own confusion. Do you understand how stupid that is? They believe, and I fell into the trap too. You ever seen a little white boy find out that Santa ain't real and he really believes it? I'm going to tell you something right now. Got a lot of us black kids too. Well, I found out you telling me that the Christmas, the Easter bunny ain't real? Because I believed in the tooth fairy. I believed all that garbage. My mother, lying ass liar, used to leave cookies in a carrot in a note that said, thanks for leaving the cookie, and they bit the carrot. I thought the deer really bit the damn carrot. Bunch of lies. Telling me I'm the only one. All these little white boys, that's where they go tap. They believe in Santa. They believe in this. Next thing you know, they're going on a mass shooting spree because their whole reality was just turned upside down. They're dismayed at their own stupidity. Okay, read on.
For the customs of the people are vain.
Lies. How the hell would a fat, jolly white man go down a chimney when 3/4 of the population of the U.S. don't even have a friggin' chimney? Think how stupid they are. Read on.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
It's the custom of Christmas. Read on.
The work of the hands of the workman.
How you gonna get around that? How you gonna get around that? Read on.
With the axe.
Right.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
How they get that? It used to be real silver and gold. Read on.
They fasten it with nails.
Right, come on.
And with hammers.
Yes.
That it move not.
Right, because that's the Christmas tree. Come on.
They are upright as the palm tree.
Go ahead, Mikael.
They probably listening to that wicked-ass song in the background while they watching the radio show. Silver and gold.
Yeah. Well, look, we all, you know what the funny thing about it? Me and you could sing it right now because we was raised in that foolish garbage.
Right.
Okay, I done knew all the damn songs. Okay, laughing through the snow in a one-horse open, all that's a bunch of crap. That argument was all for Caucasians. How you laughing through the snow, nigga? You was the one driving the horse.
Right.
You was the one in the back getting your ass whooped. You wasn't laughing through no snow in a one-horse open sleigh. You was staying in the stables with the damn horse. Yes, you got to get upset. We about to go to commercial break.
Yep.
Hey, we getting on fire. Stay with us. Listen, you get into the right place. If you want to you got to get upset. You got to get upset. The reality is you have a very hard, harsh history. Tapping into this history leads you back to the fact that the curses are talking about you.
That's right.
And then we can come back and realize we're the Israelites, and we're going to rule, and we're going to conquer everything if we just keep it right, keep the commandments. So with that, precept, we get ready to go to break. Y'all stay tuned, all right? We're about to get live, even more live than we did before, all right?
If I had a choice of where I want to be,
You can see me running to the battleground.
front line first infantry.
I wanna be the first one there to get down.
I would die on a daily.
I'm coming up to sacrifice me right now.
Put me in the army of the Most High. Put me in the army of the Most High. Milk dripping from my cheek, but I put down the rattle, for thou was girding me with strength for the battle. God handed me.
Welcome back to another edition of Precept Upon Precept. We back from the break. We jumping right back in. Don't be fooled. Christmas has always been a commercial trick bag. Okay?
Hey, so look, what the cabinet officer is bringing out is some very important information. We got to understand that the Christmas spirit ain't got nothing to do with Jesus Christ. Like the Cap was saying, we was in slavery when they were celebrating Christmas. We was the damn gifts. They was giving us as the damn gifts. The Black Friday, all of that was us. So we got to come out of these fake pagan holidays, and we got to understand that the Most High gave us righteous, high holy days to keep. The Feast of Dedication is at the same time as Christmas, and we celebrate it for 8 days. You only celebrate Christmas for 1 day. So we got to come out of that, come out of the people. come out of these wicked holidays.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do me a favor. We're going to scroll down on that article. Scroll down where it says the short version of Nissenbaum's history. Okay? I'm going to show you the damn confusion. That's why in Jeremiah said the heathen are dismayed because they don't even, they're confused at their own creation of the holidays.
Right.
That's why you got different. Well, I celebrate Christmas on this day. I celebrate this. Christmas is every day. Christmas is the day you want it to be. What? Go down where it says the short version of Nissenbaum's history. All right? You got it? So the article, listen where we're at, with WBUR, don't be fooled by Christmas has always been this commercial.
Go back to the one that says Christmas has always been this commercial.
All right, we're going to scroll down. We're going to scroll. Officer Thomas, do me a favor. Get me that Jeremiah again because we didn't finish it. While y'all get that, I want you to scroll down where it says the short version of Nissenbaum's history, okay? Y'all find, y'all keep scrolling till you find it. It's the all right, beautiful. Read that scripture, Officer Thomas.
Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 5.
Come on.
They are upright as the palm tree.
Right, come on.
But speak not.
Right.
They must needs be born.
Right, so this is going into the history of Nimrod. When you go into that, about there was a spirit in the tree. But go back to the part where it says the heathen are dismayed.
Verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
So the heathen are your oppressor, according to Nehemiah, the 5th chapter, verse 9. Do not, and read on.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Dismayed, they actually are dismayed at their own holidays. That's why the article says, well, there's an internal struggle between the external and internal conflict. Well, it's about the commercial and the commercialization and the kids. Really, it's about Jesus. They're confused at their own day. But the Israelites, you black people were in slavery being given as gifts and being thrown crumbs. You can come into my parlor. You niggas can get married up here this time of year. Do you understand what that? You gotta hear stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, give me the article, please. Yes, there we go.
The short version of Nissenbaum's history.
Uh-huh.
Christians didn't settle on December 25th to celebrate Jesus' birth until the 4th century.
Right, till the 4th, they were still confused about that. Read on.
And then only to compete with Rome's pagan festival of Saturnalia.
Right, there was a Roman pagan festival. They had to compete with that because they wanted to sway the minds of the people. Read on.
The Bible doesn't date the nativity.
Now, for 3 centuries, jump there, Officer Thomas.
Where you at?
There you go. For 3 centuries.
For 3 centuries until the early 1800s.
Okay, wait, remember, we just read about the early 1800s. For 3 centuries until the early 1800s, come on.
European and then American revelers made...
Stop. So the roots from Christmas came from the Europeans. Why? Because remember, the Puritans came over, or the Protestants who protested from the Catholic Church came over here to seek a new life as a colonist, right? The colonialist, right? Read on. That's how they set up the colonies, the 13 colonies. Those were the first colonialists or colonists. They colonized. Read.
Or terrorists.
Or terror. Yeah, exactly. Come on.
European and then American revelers made gluttonous and drunks of themselves in public at Christmas time.
So it used to be a big party. Going around getting drunk. Well, hey, why not go out and get drunk? You got a bunch of thousands of so-called Negroes working you for free. You ain't got to do a damn thing, okay? And they're working to create all of the textiles, the cotton, all these different things to get you to capital to make sure that in 1829 and 1839, your stores were stocked with presents that you were allowed to go buy and sell and give to each other as gifts. And also, hey, I want to give his he gave my great-great-grandfather as gifts to them damn demons.
Hey,
and you want to celebrate that crap? You got to look at history, pay attention, wake the hell up.
It's still just one big party that starts on December 25th.
Right.
And, you know, the 12 days of Christmas ends somewhere around January 6th, which is called, what is it, King's Day or First King's Day, when they say the 3 kings came and met baby Jesus. It was more than 3, but anyway.
Right, and they get that the story. They're dismayed at that. They don't even know what to believe.
Right.
Baby Jesus, was he 3? Was he 4? Okay? They all these damn stupid stories about it. They can't even get their story right.
Now watch this. First King's Day is also the start of Mardi Gras season here in Louisiana, which is one big party that lasts all the way to what they call Ash Wednesday. So from December 25th all the way to whenever Mardi Gras is, because I don't even know what the date is anymore, but whenever that is, it's one big party. What they call Carnival in the Caribbean. You know, that's what it is. A bunch of reveling. Saturnalia is what they called it in Rome.
Right.
It's the same thing.
And they
same
took
spirit.
all of that from there. Now, we're going to read on because I'm going to do a part 3 next week. Read on.
Occasionally becoming violent and sexually assaultive.
Right. When they got drunk, hey, them slave women is looking real good. And that's where they would come in. They don't have their own courage, so they'd have to get drunk first before they did that. Read on.
And force their way into rich people's homes to demand food and drink exchange for singing.
Now, you think those were black people that were forcing their way into? No, again, it's the internal, external struggle between white people. Some of the poor white people get all riled up and fight. Let's go and, like the French Revolution, let's go attack the rich. All of that was for them and nothing to do with you at all. Not one damn thing. Read on.
You needn't take Nessenberg's word for it. New England Puritans, he says, famously banned Christmas for these very reasons.
Now, scroll down real quick because I'm going to jump from this. For the interest of time, go back to the article. In the interest of time, go to the last one. It doesn't even have a precept on precept. Give me that picture. Give me the picture. It is right above Officer Iran's commentary said, all Esau. Look at that picture. This is Christmas commercialization.
It's a black and white picture.
Yes, it is.
Scroll up to that black and white picture Cap posted. There we go.
Now, I want you to blow that picture up because this is 1930 something. Now, be mindful that the Christmas commercialization that you brought out was regularly celebrated in 1810.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is 120 years later. Let's see what happens in all these major shopping outlets. Let's look at the people in there. Because, by the way, all right? Thank you. By the way, let's get a blow. Let's see if we can find one spot in there. Let's see if we can find a Native American. Let's see if we can find a Puerto Rican. Let's see if we can find a good old black American. I guarantee you. Number one, it was illegal for them to be shopping in this time. And if they did get their way and try to stand up for their rights to shop there, they would have got the cops called and beat to hell. Look, that is 1930-something.
So what you're telling me is their miracle on 34th Street didn't include black people. That's why they were celebrating a white Christmas.
Oh, it did, because you could hire a black nanny to watch your children while you go to shop. So, of course it did.
Oh, okay.
Because you could hire her for 17 cents an hour.
Yeah.
So, and with a college education. Remember the movie The Nanny?
Yeah.
And that took place in the 50s and 60s. Sister got a high college degree, only job she can get as a nanny. Highly educated sister. Put the picture back up. Look at these. Look at the commerce. Remember we read Revelation 18. Look at what's in the cases. Watches, jewelry, gifts, clothes. Perfumes. All of those are Caucasians. In the 1930s, where were you? You were supposed to be free, right? No, they had things called the black codes, and you didn't get your civil rights even and actually stood up until 1960 friggin' 5. 1968 is when, 65 is when they passed it, so-called. Look, you got to look at this. This is less than 100 years ago. You weren't allowed in that courtyard. And when you tried it in the mid-60s, 30 years later, you went to Woolworth to try to get a grilled cheese sandwich and a friggin' Coke float. You got German Shepherds and you got water cannons split on you. Because this was never about you. You was never supposed to join with your enemies. Never. Okay? Read on. Let me see the picture again, please. All right. Y'all look at this. You say, "What? Damn, this dude, they angry." This time of year, you know, it's funny. I was looking to the brother. His name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and the brother, I'm telling you, the brother is heavy. Black economist, really, really, very much, if you could say, pro people of color. I'll say that. But the reality is that even the blackest of pro brother, Snoop Dogg and and all these pro-black rappers and all of them is celebrating Christmas. All of them is rocking with these New Year's and going to these, all of them. If you truly want to call yourself pro-black and you want to be against oppression, you would never celebrate Christmas ever again. You would never take part in any of this crap if you actually paid attention to the facts that are all around you, everywhere.
Hey, to all my Pan-African people out there, don't celebrate Kwanzaa either, because Kwanzaa was something y'all made up. They envy your oppressor. It's not even a real holiday. Keep the commandments of God. Celebrate the Feast of Dedication. That's your heritage. That's your holy day. The hell is a Kwanzaa anyway?
Right. We was going to go into that, but I'll be honest with you, Mika, it was confusing me. I didn't even know how to really explain it to the people because it was made up like a Frankenstein holiday. Well, take some of this and this sounds great. It's a bunch of confusion. All right. Get me that. Bring back the Doc South, the second from the last. We're going right back to the American South article where we get the perspective of our forefathers during the time when it was commercialization in 1810 to 1840. Let's read about some of our forefathers, what they were going through during the time of Christmas. This is probably the most important article of today. Let's go ahead and read that. Yep, scroll down. Keep talking. Understood. There's a graph. Well, we got to wait for you to pull that up. Matter of fact, get me Deuteronomy chapter 28 in verse, is it 42? He shall lend to thee.
Verse 44. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 44.
Uh-huh.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
Because when you're a consumer, you don't have enough money to save to make your capital work for you. So that's why you are the ones that have to get the loans. We are the ones who have to get that. And they are lending to you. But it was never like that when you read about King Solomon, when you read about the kings of Israel, when you read about Abraham, when you read about Lot. Those were righteous men who had a lot of resources. Job, a lot of resources, a lot of money, if you will. You come from great, powerful, rich black men, believe it or not. Okay, now we become the tail, which is the end. The tail is the least desired part. Okay? You got that? Let's scroll down. We're going to do a little bit more reading. So we were here. Let's scroll down more. Right there. Scroll up. Some slaves saw.
Some slaves saw Christmas as an opportunity to escape.
Stop. So there were some folks who said, man, this stuff is bad. But you know what? During this time, Master, she let Jody get married in the big house. Master was smiled at her. Master gave her extra food. He's not that bad. Surely it's not that bad. Because that's Stockholm Syndrome. When you become to try to empathize and seek some sort of human characteristic from a terrorist who's terrorizing you. Okay? Go ahead, Mikhail.
I was just going to say a part of it is when the master's sick, master, we sick. That's the part of that Stockholm Syndrome you were talking about.
Right, like the damn, what's the damn, he did a great job. He needs an Academy Award for coonish. Did your boy Samuel Jack, that dude right there, man. When Jamie, at the end, when Jamie shot his kneecaps out, bro, I was so damn happy, that damn demon. Y'all saw the movie, right?
Yeah.
You gotta imagine, like, at one point, the dude, at first I'm thinking maybe he's just playing. At the end, he would stand up and try to, at the end, right, he could use his power and trust of the white man to defend it to the very end. When he was alone with Jamie Foxx in the house, he still didn't try to turn to a brother. Read that.
They took advantage of relaxed work schedules and the holiday travels of slaveholders, who were too far away to stop them, while some slaveholders presumably treated the holiday as another work day.
Some slaveholders was not dumb. Man, if we get slacked, our own property will turn on us. Others like, nah, they're fine. They love it here. We're just going to go travel up to Kentucky. Everything's loosey-goosey. Give the Negroes a couple more gifts. They deserve it. Okay? That's why a lot of us, we we justify our position in society because you get treated super nice on Thanksgiving, Christmas, these holidays. You make it a little bit a bone throw. They actually say something nice to you, and you forget all the decades and decades of oppression that they and their forefathers and mothers have done to your people. You forget about that. Okay? Read on.
Numerous authors record a variety of holiday traditions, including the suspension of work for celebration and family visits.
Master gave me half day off. He can't be that bad. Why does he give you the day off? They went up to Kentucky to visit up there. So you tell him we get the whole day off? Master gave us the whole day off from work? Oh, my God. And that's the mindset. A lot of other brothers are like, this devil going to give me the day off? All right, this is what we're going to do. And some of our brothers started to plan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the whole uprising of 1811 came. Right here in Jefferson Parish, St. Charles Parish, and I think St. John's Parish. Right down here in southeast Louisiana. Read.
Because many slaves had spouses, children, and family who were owned by different masters and who lived on other properties, slaves often requested passes to travel and visit family during these times.
Right, so they would use their pass as, hey, master gave me, look, Mr. White Man, my master gave me permission for me to come see my family. Well, it is Christmas time. Why not? So they use that to do what? To start linking up and start planning to get the hell out of Dodge. A lot of people didn't take slavery sitting down. They don't think you come from a people that did not stand up for themselves. A lot of us did. Read on.
Some slaves used the passes to explain their presence on the road and delayed the discovery of their escape through their master's expectation.
You ever heard the term, just play the role, man? You never heard that before? Sometimes you got to play the role. Play the role. Papers, please. Where are you Negroes think you're going? Look, sir, we got our papers from our master at the Whitney plantation. We headed up to see Pa and Ma. They up there down the road. See our papers, sir. Here are our papers, sir. Well, all right. Well, all right. You did. Here's a chocolate candy for your niggers too, because during Christmas they would throw you gifts. Surely that's a great master right there. Play on.
Expectation that they would soon return from their family visit.
Uh-huh.
Jermaine Logan plotted a Christmas escape, stockpiling supplies and waiting for travel passes, knowing the cover of the holidays were essential for success.
That's military strategy. Use the enemy in its weak points to make your escape. Now, can we prove that? Get me Uprising in 1811. Google that.
So, yeah, the German Coast Uprising was Charles Desline. It started in what we know today as La Place, like in St. John Parish. Basically,
Right.
around December 25th to around January 11th is when this all took place. As soon as we get that article, we're gonna read about it. But that's exactly what Cap is bringing out, is how they plotted
in
around this time.
Google Uprising of 1811. As soon as you pull up, it's going to pull right up. And you can Wikipedia it, hit that. Here we go. Now, so remember, we started off and we showed you that during Christmas time, commercialization has always been about an internal and external struggle between who? Caucasians.
Mm-hmm.
Because they argue, is it for the kids? Is it commercialization? The real meaning is Jesus, who came, died for everybody, who looks like Charles Manson. He's the guy that hung on the tree. Jesus. That whole argument was for them. It had nothing to do with you. Just like that's the reason why there's something called the black professor. He's a black scholar. He's a black scientist. So everybody else is a regular scientist that has nothing to do with you. Okay? The Negro leagues. Hence, what was the regular league? The white league. You had the Negro League. Nothing has changed. They tell you in their articles who they talking about. Anytime you see an article that says black men, they'll never say white. It's just man was found. man was found doing this. Black man was found. It's the same damn thing all over again. You simple brothers and sisters. Read.
1811 German Coast Uprising.
Uh-huh.
The 1811 German Coast Uprising was a revolt of black slaves in parts of the territory of Orleans on January 8 through 10, 1811.
Now, what we're going to find out, that's when it was executed. Guess what was right before January 8th? Christmas.
Yep.
So here's a proof, and this is why perfect segue. Proof that a lot of us did not take slavery laying down. Okay? And that's why the same spirit that was on the Maccabees is the same spirits that's on the Israelites today that are rising up. And guess what? Taking care of our wives, coming out of the drugs, coming out of all this wicked evil, taking care of our families, keeping the commandments, loving each other, working with each other, and crying out on the streets of Babylon, saying this place is going to fall, and we ain't doing nothing, no arms, no nothing. Matter of fact, we're going to be the best employees we can be. We're going to be the best husbands, fathers that we can be, okay? And we're going to keep the commandments. We're not going to be them people at your job where you see flirting with all these women and doing all this wicked foolishness, going to dumb Christmas parties and getting drunk at the Christmas party, all right? Where we at? Okay, I'm sorry. I was going on a tangent. Go
The
ahead.
uprising occurred on the east bank of the Mississippi River in what is now St. John the Baptist, St. Charles, and Jefferson parishes, Louisiana.
Uh-huh.
The slave insurgery was the largest in the U.S. history.
The slave insurgency. Read on.
Insurgency, sorry. But the rebels killed only 2 white men. Confrontations and militia and executions after trial killed 95 black people.
Number one, they always lie. There was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of us that rose up. Why would they call it the largest uprising in history and then limit the numbers? Because what happened is it changed a lot of laws in Louisiana. That's why in 1830 and 20s, they were concerned about uprising because of this event right here. This event changed history in Louisiana and much of the Deep South. Much of the history was changed. Now, go where the beginning, it talks about Christmas. When you go to the Wikipedia article, I think you still have it up. Did you take it down or? Go to background, please. Can we see it on the screen? Can everybody see it, please? Okay, now, there's a part where it talks about, okay, scroll down. I'm looking for December because it actually, they used the time, the roads. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. As we get closer to 1809, hold up. Right, okay. Over to, slow down, scroll down, scroll down. Rebellion, scroll down. Right there.
Yep.
Is that what you want right there? The revolt began on January 8th?
No, the revolt began, but they started to plan right during the Christmas holiday because it was a heavy rain and the grounds got all muddy and travel became very difficult to do. I just want to show you the correlation between the mind that you're supposed to have. The freedom that you're fighting for now is a mental freedom. Okay, you're not in hard chattel slavery and bondage. You are in mental slavery. So our people have to fight the ideology of this whole Christmas season. That's what you fight at. That's what you rebel against. That evil custom. Let me see. Bear with us. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. I'm looking for, if you type in Christmas origin, it talks, I didn't even have it prepared for this part. Oh gosh.
So earlier you were talking about, the spirit of revolt was in the Maccabees. When you think about it, Charles Desline came from Saint-Domingue, which is Haiti.
Right.
Which he was inspired by Toussaint Louverture, who overthrew the French in Haiti, and they got their freedom in the revolt.
Mm-hmm.
The Haitians are the tribe of Levi. So that same spirit that the Maccabees had, who were Levites, is the same spirit that these brothers rolled in, which is part of the reason why they ain't want to lay down, which is why they planned and they plotted these revolts, and they, especially in Haiti, they overcame the oppressor. This slave revolt right here, which is largely overlooked in history, was the largest slave revolt in U.S. history. Everybody talk about Nat Turner, but why they don't want to talk about Charles Desline?
Because then they have to give the fact that they almost were defeated by
Right.
a bunch of so-called savages in their mind. If you get to the point, if you can find it, because the revolt actually happened right in the beginning of January, but they actually plotted for years, but they knew that this is the point, they knew that during the holiday season that everyone was laxed and would give gifts, a little bit more time off. You could travel and see family if you had your slave papers, the permission to travel. They used that. They didn't take Christmas laying down. They use it. So what we got to do, how do you fight today the same way? The bonuses and Christmas money, you get the X thing, we got to come together and create group economics. Come together and put our resources together. Don't buy into the Christmas holidays and seasons. Don't celebrate what they tell you to celebrate. It's wrong, okay? The inception of Christmas and the commercialization of Christmas, your forefathers, and when I say you, I'm talking about your forefathers, it's the same thing. You've never escaped the title of slave. It's just rebranded. Okay, you are a slave in this captivity. That's exactly what you are. You're not a true citizen. Okay? Oh, never forget that. I know it sounds rough. Did you find anything about December? No? We're going to move on. Get a chance, y'all look at the German uprising in 1811. So German coast. If you find it, it talks about that. Oh, gosh. They slick how they do that. They say January 8th.
Right, they try to make it seem like it's not in that same season. But of course it's in that same season. Why would they, you don't just one night pop up and say, oh, we're going to have a slave revolt. You gotta plan this thing out. You got to come up with a strategy, and that takes time to plan out a strategy. This didn't just happen overnight. So, of course, during the time of Christmas, they were planning. They were using their liberties that they got to get together and have these meetings and to decide on when they were going to go and take over this master's house and get the supplies and then go to this plantation and get the guns over here and the uniform. Because they had militia uniforms that they had. So,
And not only that, as they began to gather a force, they some say of 500 to 1,000. There was more than that, and they actually organized and actually seized weaponry. And by the way, today we're not gonna do none of that. The weapon that we fight with is the Word of God.
That's right.
Back then it was sheer oppression, and they were fighting for little freedom. Today we fight with the Bible. We fight with "Thou shalt not steal." "Thou shalt not kill." Jeremiah 10. Do not be dismayed like the heathen. We cast down Christmas and the ideologies. We don't eat pork. We take care of our wives. We don't steal, sell drugs. This is how we fight today in the spirit. But back then, they literally had to fight for their freedom, okay? And the slaves did not take it laying down. And that's the point you have to understand. Like Officer Mikael mentioned, the Maccabees did not take going into Greekish fashions laying down. Just like Toussaint L'Ouverture, he inspired in, was it 1801 or what, I forget, 1798 or something like that. He inspired, because remember, Louisiana is not too far from Haiti. And there was port ships that would go back and forth. And there were workers that sometimes they would be able to interact with the other slaves that were in Louisiana. And they started to talk about songs of freedom. And that's how they began to plan this uprising. And they would use the Christmas and holiday seasons that we just read with their passes to plan from plantation to plantation. Like the song, it says, wade in the water is a literal military exit strategy. You heard what I just said? Wade in the water is a military exit strategy. Wade in the water. Wade. That means cover your tracks. If you're deep and you stick your head up, they can't track you at night. There's no footprints. Wade in the water. It's going to be cold. They would sing, and right under their oppressor's nose. Y'all got to see. Y'all come from a very, very, very ingenious people. When we got that right mind of overcoming. Did you find anything? No, you didn't find it. All right. So look, we get ready to close out, but there's one more thing I want to bring up. One more. Actually, Mika, you had that article. Hang on a sec. Bear with me. I want to look at one of that article again about don't be fooled. Go back to that again. There's something good in that I want to look at. Yes. Oh my gosh. Capitalism. No. No, I'm sorry. Go back to the American South. Last one. We're going to close out with the American South. If you get a chance, read this article, and also you can take and they have inserts of the bibliography where they got the sources from, which were books that were written in the 1800s, and then this particular scholar put them together, read these books, and inserted key page numbers for you to go back and reference if you want to. Let's not this one. The American South. It's the second to the last article. Yeah. Let's go back there.
Some slaves saw Christmas as an opportunity to escape. They took advantage of relaxed work schedules and the holiday travels of slaveholders who were too far away to stop them. While some slaveholders presumably treated the holiday as any other workday, numerous authors record a variety of holiday traditions, including the suspension of work for celebration and family visits.
So what they started to see is patterns of the slavery, the work schedule. Well, guess what? Well, our master gives us 2 days off, the day and the day after Christmas. Well, what does your master give? Then we would use these papers as we go from plantation to plantation to start to talk and to start to plan and start to strategy. Well, I know that these devils, my master, he's kind of quiet. He kind of cool. He get drunk. He let us come in. He even throw us chocolate and all that. Yeah, he going to be all right. Well, my master treated like a regular work day. We're going to have to pick you up last because you're not so tight over there. We would work together and plan. We would plan our escape. That's why they called it the Underground Railroad, because we had to move under their noses. We literally dug. You know what's amazing? How you think they dug all those cellars? They used to dig cellars and put trap doors in people's houses. Some were root cellars and other things, but we dug things and created safe houses under people's houses. And it was all that Underground Railroad. You're reading about the Underground Railroad right here. But what you hear about, they'll give big ups to Harriet Tubman and want to put her face on a damn dollar or whatever, $3 bill, whatever the hell it is. But this guy, what's his brother name? Deslan.
Charles Deslan.
And all of these other men, you'll never hear about them unless you research about it. And they took 500 to 1,000 or more men, and they went from plantation, freeing their brothers, in with military weaponry, singing songs of freedom as they marched from plantation to plantation, singing songs of their forefathers. Why don't they teach us about that? If black boys in the ghetto knew that they came from that, they would take pride. They would come out of this garbage in America that they see here at Christmas holidays and realize, man, we are the Israelites, and work together. And we still got to be you know how the modern day Underground Railroad is? When you got to do what you got to do at work, okay? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, your friend just come back out. You take your stupid work shirt off. Your friend just come back out, and guess what you do? You go right back to your people, okay? You don't go out to eat with them. You don't celebrate with them. Don't do none of that crap. Christmas cards, the hell with that. I walk around saying bah humbug at work. I just talk about Scrooge McDuck. Bah humbug. Anytime I can show a little blow, I'm going to throw it, okay? Read that. Keep going. Scrooge McDuck should be your favorite damn Disney character. Read.
Because many slaves had spouses, children, and family who were owned by different masters and who lived on other properties, slaves...
Stop. Give me Deuteronomy 28, verse 32. You see that right there? That's Deuteronomy 28, verse 32. How the hell do you have different spouses and children living at different plantations? And you want to celebrate Christmas? They took your children and put them in, you had to get a pass from a man that was whooping you to go see your family. Do you understand how sick that is? Sometimes you gotta talk about it and relive it, get angry, bring it back to life. Yes, it hurts. I understand that. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32.
Come on.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people,
And you could throw spouses in there too. Read on.
and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
But they gave us a pass. So we use the pass to do what? Go visit them. Start to plan. We know that they're happy and get drunk and get silly and stupid during Christmas time. We have to use our intelligence to plan to do what? Just to escape, to get dignity, to feel like a human being. Read.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
You didn't have no damn power because this uprising failed and they all died. You know what they did when it was done? They took their heads and stuck them on poles. The Whitney Plantation.
Yep.
Okay? You see that. Just like in the time of Moses. All right? But we did it to our enemies. Yeah. We're going to wrap up real quick. Just one more. We're going to wrap up now. We got 3 minutes. Come on.
Because many slaves had spouses, children, and family who were owned by different masters and who lived in other properties.
So I got a question for these fake, lying Christian pastors. We're reading real history that literally links up with the Bible, and you want to talk about legalism and don't go to the law? Don't go to the prophecies that tell you who you are? That's how we know that this wicked Christianity is the greatest form of sorcery and trickstership that it was ever created in the planet Earth. It would take a man who was sold and who was in 1830, family was divided and conquered, and you fit the prophecy, and now you will fight and argue for your master's doctrine and actually think you are right and call nigger right behind your back. These Christian churches still do not allow black people in their church.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're called white evangelical church. Why is that? Why is there still labels on these things? Because they ain't stupid. They don't want you Negroes celebrating with them. The real ones, okay? Come on.
Hey, a little sidebar since you brought up those white churches. Any Negro in 2021, about to be 2022, according to Esau, if you still a Jehovah's Witness, something is wrong with you. Something is really wrong with you. They tell you the 144,000 are all white people and tell you not to partake in the breaking bread of Jesus Christ. Y'all are simple as hell.
Simple as hell. We get ready to close out. I want to read one more excerpt from this. We're going to do part 3 next week. You're supposed to be upset. Come on.
Jermaine Logan plotted a Christmas escape, stockpiling supplies and waiting for travel passes, knowing the cover of the holidays were essential for success.
And we read, remember Robert Smalls?
Yep.
He stole a doggone warship. We remember the sister, the brother, and husband and wife, she was so light-skinned, she dressed up as the white man.
Yep.
And they got all the way to their freedom. So our people didn't take slavery laying down. We had many escapes. Here's another example of escape. All right, read on.
Lord, speed the day. Freedom begins with the holidays.
You see that? Brother knew. He said freedom begins. Why? Because he understood he had to exploit his enemies. Read on.
These plans turned out to be wise, as Logan and his companions are almost caught crossing a river into Ohio.
Almost caught, but they read on.
But were left alone because the white man thought they were free men who had been to Kentucky to spend the holidays with their friends.
Stop. How do you think they knew? How do you think he came to the determination that they were free men? Because they have good with their speech. They played the role. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, we just traveling to see our kinfolk over here. Oh, no, sir. No, sir. No, we bought our freedom. Our papers, they just back at the master's house, still arranged. Okay. Why? Because during that time, a little bit extra drink, a little bit extra nice. Well, they're visiting family. We're visiting family. Well, let them go. They had to use that, all right? So with that, a little bit more, read on.
Harriet Tubman helped her brothers escape at Christmas.
See that? Harriet Tubman. We just talked about the Underground Railroad. Our people had the spirit of resiliency. Harriet Tubman, and by the way, Harriet Tubman was one of many. They just will only let you keep talking about Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman she didn't even lead this. She led a lot of, she did some things. Let me front. She did some things and helped our people. There were so many other, and you ever notice they don't give black men the credit? They give Harriet Tubman. Why don't we give some of the brothers the credit? Why don't you talk about Robert Smalls? Robert Smalls is more interesting than Harriet Tubman. The brother stole a damn naval warship, okay, and got by all these different garrisons and made his way all the way back to the damn Northeast. That's more exciting than Harriet Tubman. There was many brothers that did what Harriet Tubman did. Read.
Their master intended to sell them after Christmas, but was delayed by the holiday.
You got sold. So you got sold. Why? Because just like the masters bought a pearl necklace, we got to get a couple of niggers and get them all. What do you get? What do you all I want for Christmas? I want pearls and 2 niggers. I want pearls, 2 niggers, and a nice suit. Okay, well, I can't get you the suit, but I get you the 2 niggers and the pearls. That's what was sold during Christmas time. You got to hit it rough like that, okay? And that's what we got to, as the 12 tribes of Israel, we got to, don't let them divide us by color, by height, by gender. Don't let us divide it. Don't let us do that. Don't let them do that to you. Don't get succumbed into these devilish holidays. Use what God gave us and the resilience we have in these scriptures to come out of this place called Babylon. Okay, last scripture we're going to close out. Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. Last scripture.
Revelations chapter 18, verse 4.
Okay, come on.
And I heard another voice from heaven
What
saying.
is that voice? That voice is the commandments coming through the 12 tribes, the prophets that are out there teaching you that Christmas is wrong. Read on.
Come out of her, my people.
Who is his people? The 12 tribes, the descendants of Harriet Tubman, the descendants of all these slaves that were tired of the American slave doctrine. Read on.
That ye be not partakers of her sins.
Right? Come on.
And that ye receive not of her plagues.
Because this place is going to be plagued. Babylon going to be plagued with fire and all type of torment that's coming to this place. Read on.
Sick up.
That's it. So with that, look, fiery show tonight. You're a little bit, you might say, turned up a little bit of anger in the back of your voice. Well, you should be.
Yep.
You should be. And you should be embarrassed if some of you undercover Israelites that watch us, you still going to get a damn stupid Christmas turkey and honey ham, your grandmother's house with the peach cobbler. Oh, I don't really open the gifts. I just gave a gift. I didn't let anybody give me a gift back. Yeah, right. Okay? Come out of that garbage.
And to all you brothers out there that know y'all are Israel, but you afraid of your wife, and when she tell you to go get the Christmas tree out the attic, you go get it, you need to be ashamed of yourself. Hey, so with that, take that Christmas bonus, all these Christmas bonuses that y'all gonna get, and give alms. You can give alms at your local school via the alms box or via PayPal. If you want to give alms to IUIC New Orleans, you can do so via PayPal at iuic.neworleans@israelunite.org. Also, give to the Booster Club so we can continue to go on these missions and cast down these lies in these other nations. Because guess what? They celebrating Christmas in Ghana now. So we need to be there so we can cast down these lies. Y'all can give alms to the Booster Club at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org. Hey, and burn them Christmas trees. Burn them.
Not in your house. Bring it outside and do it.
Yeah.
You get a Negro next thing you know.
Israel united in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus 5:1.
All praises to the Most High. Look, hey, by the way, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. We do not fight with swords and guns. We fight with the laws of God in our mind and the faith of Christ, knowing that when we come out of this place called America, mentally and spiritually, that we will be delivered. So with that, we hope you got fired up tonight. You get angry, okay? this whole season is set up to destroy, and we are, one mentioned last week, it said that they stand like wild beasts waiting for our economic prey. They wait for you to spend that money, all right? So don't spend that money on dumb Christmas gifts this year, all right? So with that, we're your hosts. I'm Captain Shem.
Officer Mikael.
Officer Thomas.
And with that, brothers and sisters, we say
Shalom.
Shalom.
You listening to precept on precept. Captain Shem break it down to no meat left. Line upon line in the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. You listening to precept on precept. Captain Shem break it down to no meat left. Line upon line, the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. Putting in the work for the most high. Valley of the bones coming back and we gon' ride. Showing you our past didn't stop with that boat ride. We a nation made of kings, yeah, we chose right. Bringing our identity back. We the praise of the Lord, they pretend to be that. Judah is something special, they could never be that. We raise the vengeance